great honor and pleasure to be in front of you all. It's a matter of pride for me that yes, just last Friday, I was called to Singapore and I was awarded by the Birds Group a citation saying that yes, myself and my office, we have been acknowledged as doing something different and being very innovative in the line of institutional architecture. I always maintain that any architect, he or his thinking, his abilities are of no use if he does not have the right type of client in front. I can dream anything, I can think of anything, I can just wish for anything. But the thinkings and the thought processes and all, always they bring in the right type of pride and they increase the hemoglobin of the architect only when they have the right type of client. And for that, I would definitely like to thank the Red Bridge Academy, Mr. Rohan and Mr. Christopher.
I am General Arjun Ray. I am the Chief Executive of Indus Trust. It's a not-for-profit organization, and we are in the business of running 3 international schools, one in Bangalore, which is the flagship, Pune and Hyderabad. And in the last 13 years, Bangalore is ranked number 1 in the country for 3 consecutive years. Pune, which is only 7 years old, is ranked number 4, and Hyderabad is ranked number 7. So we are in this whole field of international education. Very happy and delighted that Dinesh Verma has been given this prestigious award. He richly deserves it. I remember that he also received a national award for this very school where we are standing right now. I would say that Dinesh has got a tremendous edge over other architects. I would single him out for 3 particular creative facets of architecture. He's got a tremendous sense of space, and for an educational institution, creating a space which is free from fear, creating a space where knowledge is encouraged, creating a space where children can move around the campus without any hindrances is, I would say, a very creative attribute of Dinesh. Second, I think what singles him out, second big trait which he has got, is this sense of inspiration. If you look at even the buildings where we are standing right now over here and we have the similar structure in Hyderabad which he has done for us, is that the buildings are very inspirational. There's a wow factor. And when people come there, the children come, the parents come there, they look at the buildings itself and half their minds are made up that they're going to join this institution. And the third differentiator which he's got is that in his architecture, he reconnects children with nature. Again, you can look around and see the beautiful trees, wide spaces over here, nature. So when children are with nature, they develop a lot of humility. They feel that they are responsible to make this earth sustainable, and they realize the importance of nature as a very calming and a very soothing factor, which I think is something very critical for any educational institution over there. So I think these are the 3 very important factors, that is creating space. His Greco-Roman style of architecture, you can see, has got a lot of space. It is not intimidating, it is very inspirational, and he creates that sense of environment where children feel free to express themselves, free to play without any element of fear. I think this is what really singles him out as compared to other architects.
I'm Mundra, the founder of Shishu Mandir, which is a charitable institution for children of the underprivileged section of the society. I'm happy that I have the opportunity to say a few words about Dinesh Verma, who was introduced to me in 1998 when we were about to start a school building for our children. We had a very small budget, and still Dinesh was ready to take up also such a small project for him. And what he produced was a fantastic, beautiful building. Like all his buildings have an inner touch of beauty. They have an imprint of his own. They have their own handwriting. They have, just an inner beauty. And he, having constructed so many big school buildings, was not too proud or too great to take up also such a small project as ours on a purse-string budget. And I must say he didn't even charge his professional charges for this first building. And in the course of time, we, once with Dinesh, you are always with Dinesh, so we added 4 more buildings. Altogether we have 5 buildings from him. 1 second school building, and then a vocational training center, a kindergarten, and a children's home where there are orphan children. So this took us 17 years, which other people probably make in one big go, and they have the buildings, but we took so long. Anyway, I must say that Dinesh has that sense to feel the spirit of the client or his requirements. He can put it into reality. He can sense that very thing which they want, and which brings also in the form of educational buildings this extra charm. We are happy that our children could have such beautiful buildings to take away their inner conflict of being from the lower side of the society, the underprivileged society. And these buildings, indeed, they give self-confidence to our children and really a status in society. I must say that Dinesh is for me a person with great magnanimity.
My name is Shukla Bose. I'm the founder and CEO of Parikrama Humanity Foundation, which is an NGO that runs 4 schools, a college, and a teacher training center for children from the streets, slums and orphanages in Bangalore. I have known Dinesh Verma and his architectural firm ACE for more than 15 years and have worked with him very closely in 2 projects. I think he is a great architect, and his architectural firm ACE is extremely proactive, and his team, he has a great team that is extremely supportive of clients like ours. One of the things that I have to mention which is special about Dinesh is that he understands what a non-profit organization like ours needs, and he actually coaches us as a client of how to prioritize our needs and what we should be looking for. So Dinesh has been more than just an architect for me. He's actually been a really good friend who has taught me, that it is also important to look at what the school would look like at the end as a finished product, rather than just the content that we are specialized in putting in. So I think this marriage between style as well as being practical, as well as being idealistic about what we can offer to our children is a great partnership. And I'm not surprised that Dinesh has therefore got this award, because he deserves many more along the line. Thank you.
Redbridge School was my youngest client ever walked into my office and said they wanted to design a school. And that is one reason why the campus is so different than others. The Redbridge School has the right type of colors, color combinations, open spaces, green spaces, enclosed spaces. In fact, one thing which is so good about it is how the water, rainwater, everything there is reused for all the greenery. We have created ponds for recycling, and we are very soon looking forward to getting the certification for the green building also. We have kept spaces for small children who are in the primary totally separate. We have kept students who are going to be middle school and high school totally separate. They are not like something which is going to be bullying each other or pushing each other and all. We have kept the corridors and all as wide as possible, as colorful as what it can be, to generate the interest of students. We have kept areas in the school which are going to be used for children to plant trees, and then they plant the trees and then they give it to the next class when they move further. So each child will have something like an owner that yes, that tree belongs to them, they have to take care of it. We have kept spaces there which are meant for different types of teaching. A teacher can just take them from the classroom outside into the open space. They can just study in the, have a class in the sandpit, or they can even have a class which is going to be under a tree. We have got spaces where they can teach pottery, they can teach music, they can teach, dance. Music, they have separate things for Indian music as well as Western music. They have an excellent place for a library, and if you see the school with the library, the small children library designed like a small train with books, in various coaches, and there's an engine and all. The other library is different, which suits that particular age group. Similarly, for outdoor things, we have different things. We have a multi-purpose hall for indoor games. We have an area which is meant for yoga. We have a teacher's training thing. So we are trying to put whatever a child or the parent will look forward to, give it to them in the best way, but without compromising any international standard. Once I got into education, people started knowing more and more about my educational thoughts and how my thinking is different in the educational field than others, I started getting more and more projects. And what my other clients liked about it also, that even when I'm doing 4 schools, 5 schools at the same time, those 4 or 5 schools are always different. I do not copy school number A and then put the same thing in school number B. A, B, C, D, all the way. I've done more than 60 schools all over the country as on date. And all the schools are different. They are different in terms of their concept, how the school and the plan is sort of matching to the site, how we have segregated the site into different elements of residential, recreational, administrative, academics, how we have created the open spaces for children, how we have used the water and the natural resources there. They are totally site specific. And that is why my thinking about more and more schools started. Also now when I go to the school, I always think of, what I was as a kid, what type of naughtiness I used to do, what type of things we used to, work. All of us have gone through that. So I always try to think, okay, fine, the children of today should be given the opportunity to do that also. So I create those type of things where children can go and just ape the teacher. We also like to write on the walls. Then we said, no, don't write. So I create spaces where children can go and write on the wall. In Karnataka, I would have done at least about 40 schools, definitely.
I am Rohan Agarwal, Managing Trustee of Red Bridge International Academy. This school, Red Bridge International Academy, has been set up 3 years ago with the help of architect Dinesh Verma, who has been able to design a school which creates a passionate place for learning for children. It has always been our dream and our vision to create a school where children come to inquire rather than force knowledge into their heads. This inquiry form of learning has been imparted through architecture as well as the teachers and the staff that are there in the organization. It is no more about learning when the teacher just imparts whatever is there in the textbook into your minds. At Red Bridge International Academy, we are able to learn and inquire about any topic and learn from that. So this is a new school which has come up. It's an international school we are having students from different parts of the world. Redbridge International Academy is situated in the suburbs of Electronic City, which is very well located for students who stay in the center of the city, as well as parents who work at the Electronic City. It's a convenient location for children from all the places in Bangalore to come and study. Especially for students who stay further away in northern Karnataka, we have the hostel facility where students can come on our campus and they can stay there. We create a new and experienced place for learning where it's interactive, with interactive boards, no more traditional style of blackboards or whiteboards. Every class is IT enabled. We have a strength of very few number of students in a class. We have a capacity of 30 students, which at Redbridge we believe is very important, so that each child gets individual attention for better learning and better progress in his life.
The first thing that strikes anyone who enters the campus at Redbridge International Academy is the wide open spaces. And any parent that brings their children into this environment always desires that their child studies here. What is important in any educational institution is the freedom that the child experiences. The greater the freedom that you give a child, the more the chances of you inculcating into them the creative juices and creative aspects of learning. What Mr. Dinesh Verma was able to achieve in Redbridge International Academy. Every single area in the school has been so tastefully done that it invigorates and encourages children to be creative. They are very happy with the open spaces, and hence learning becomes that much more easier in an environment such as this. Our teachers too are encouraged to develop in our children these creative aspects, and hence we focus a lot on our art, dance, music, and all other aspects that encourage creativity of the children. Redbridge International Academy therefore strives to encourage children to think laterally, be creative, and encourage learning. Thank you.